Good morning. Welcome to the Agape Korean UMC, the online service today. Today we're celebrating the Palm Sunday or Passion Sunday, the week before Easter. Would you please bow your head and pray with me? Lord, we thank you for calling us today, Lord, either physically or digitally online community, Lord. As we share this word with you, Lord, and with others, please be with us and the work in us, Lord, and then touch our hearts, the deepest part of our hearts, that we can see you, Lord. Please come again, Lord, fill our hearts with your presence and spirit, that we may see you this morning, Lord, face to face, and we may hear what you want to say to us, Lord. Please guide us, be with us in the name of Christ. Amen. Okay, good morning again, and I'm going to read the Bible to you. This is the Matthew chapter 26, starting verse 14 through 35, and then also verses 69 through 75. So listen for the word of God. Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and asked, "What are you willing to give me if I hand him over to you?" So they counted out for him 30 silver coins. From then on, Judas watched for an opportunity to hand him over. On the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Where do you want us to make preparations for you to eat the Passover?" He replied, "Go into the city to a certain man and tell him, the teacher says, my appointed time is near. I'm going to celebrate the Passover with my disciples at your house." So the disciples did as Jesus had directed them and prepared the Passover. When evening came, Jesus was reclining at the table with the 12. And while they were eating, he said, "I tell you the truth, one of you will betray me." They were very sad and began to say to him one after the other, "Surely not I, Lord." Jesus replied, "The one who has dipped his hand into the bowl with me will betray me. The Son of Man will go just as it is written about him. But woe to that man who betrays the Son of Man. It would be better for him if he had not been born." Then Judas, the one who would betray him, said, "Surely not I, Rabbi." Jesus answered, "Yes, it is you." While they were eating, Jesus took the bread and gave thanks and broke it and gave it to his disciples and saying, "Take and eat, this is my body." Then he took the cup, gave thanks and offered it to them, saying, "Drink from it, all of you. This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for you, for many, for the forgiveness of sins. I'll tell you, I will not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on until that day when I drink it anew with you in my Father's kingdom." When they sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. Then Jesus told them, "This very night you will fall away on account of me. For it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered. But after I have risen, I will go ahead of you into Galilee." Peter replied, "Even if all fall away on account of you, I never will." "I tell you the truth," Jesus answered, "this very night, before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." But Peter declared, "Even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you." And all the other disciples said the same. Verse 69. Now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him. "You also were with Jesus of Galilee," she said. But he denied it before them all. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said. Then he went out to the gateway, where another girl saw him and said to the people there, "This fellow was with the Jesus of Nazareth." He denied it again with an oath, "I don't know that man." After a little while, those standing there went up to Peter and said, "Surely you are one of them, for your accent gives you away." Then he began to call down curses on himself, and he swore to them, "I don't know the man. Immediately a rooster crowed, and Peter remembered the word Jesus had spoken. Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. And he went outside and wept bitterly. Amen. Okay, let me start off with this question. The question of memory. Memory. Do you? I mean, is your memory okay today? Sometimes I'm 47 almost this month, and I realize that it's not like when I was 20. It's different right now. I tend to write more things down because I know my limits right now. That I'm not going to remember this, so I have to, unless I write things down, just probably it'll be gone forever. So how about the first page right now? Do you see the page right now there? The radius A equals pi, and then times r squared. This is the area of a circle. That's how you get it. The circumference is the circle is a 2 pi r. I know that, and then the area is what? Pi r squared. So r is the radius. And then pi. Do you remember the pi number? Can you recite pi? How as far as you can go? 3 point. Next page. 3.14. Yeah, that's the pi day though. It's okay. The pi day is like 3.14. Yeah. 3.1415926. 535819932384. It's like it keeps on going forever. I'm literally forever. That number doesn't stop. It's an infinite number. Very interesting. So in this country, the Pi Day, March 14th, and then if you call the Papa John's or the pizza, and they sell you the the whole pan of pizza at $3.14. Personally, I don't think that's a good deal, but that's what they do. But let me show you a guy here right now. Next page. Here's a Chinese guy. In 2005, he broke the record of reciting the pi number. A few years ago, back from him, there was I believe the Indian person. He recited the pi number up to 40,000th place. This guy, Lu Chao, he recited 67,890th place after the decimal. He was doing that for about 20 some hours. Actually, I've seen that one do it on TV, on YouTube. It's amazing. He never stops. I mean, he doesn't go like boom, 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 boom. He's gonna go one by one. He is remembering. 67,890th place after the decimal. Can you believe it? I cannot. But somebody did it. It's amazing. Memory is an interesting thing. Memory, the definition goes like this. I looked it up in the online. Memory is the faculty of the brain by which data and information is encoded, stored, and retrieved when needed. We'll need that. If you just gonna store data and you cannot get it back, you have a problem. Just imagine the computer. You store all your data, the papers, and all of that in the data in the hard drive. You cannot get it back. I mean, good luck with the teacher. Why can't I get the memory back or my file back? And then your teachers are not going to believe you. It is a retention of information over time for the purpose of influencing future actions. Memory sometimes works in a funny way. I hear the politicians a lot say on TV, especially the hearings in Korea or in the U.S., that they are asked questions. Do you remember this? Remember, have you done this? I don't remember that. I remember I do that. Or I did that. Nothing. I don't have a memory of it. It's like they're trying to get away. All from the liability issues, whatever, responsibilities. When we lose memory, our memory, we kind of forget who we were and who we are. And then after a certain kind of trauma, certain people lose their memories either for a short time or a long time. In a hospital, there's even a department that helps the patients actually somehow retrieve their memory back. And retirement homes in the United States, I know that they have a unit called the memory care unit. They help you with the memories back, because when they lose the memory, they draw a blank. They don't know who they are anymore. They're just sad. But anyway, how about this? When we lose our memory, we suffer a lot in different ways. Remember, If I do not remember your names from last week, I'll be in trouble. Or I just forget all the sermon that I wrote last night. I don't remember any of that. I'll be in trouble. Now for you, students, you study like you're really hard, and then you go to your exam time, and then all of a sudden you don't remember anything. You have to explain it to your mom and dad after the exam. It's not fun. It's not fun. How about like playing the piano or tennis or the golf, anything? You learn, you take a lesson, and you practice a lot, but then the next day you forget everything. And then you got to start again and again and every day. It's like, your life will be painful every day like that. Today, this question that I want to ask today is this: that what do you have to remember as a disciple? If you want to kind of walk this Christian walk, what kind of memory that you have to bring back or retrieve back to sustain your faith with God, or even improve your faith life with God? Today's text today that describes the night before going to Gethsemane, and then before the rest of Jesus. Right before Jesus and then his disciples went to Gethsemane, and then the portion that we looked at last week about like the disciples had to make a choice, a decision, like a critical moment in a crisis. Today, we found Jesus entering the Jerusalem, and we call it what Sunday today? What Sunday? What you can say? Palm Sunday or what Sunday? The other word, Passion Sunday. Passion meaning not your desire. Passion meaning in Greek, suffering, pain. That's what passion means originally. Yeah, I'll tell you later on, hopefully. Yes, so Palm Sunday, people waving what branches? Palm trees and the leaves and the branches to welcome Jesus coming into Jerusalem, and then some actually place the palm leaves on the road so you can the donkey that's riding on. Jesus was riding on the donkey, and actually welcoming, honoring the Jesus coming into Jerusalem as like the King of like peace. And then since there was the unleavened like the bread festival, that one of the three big festivals in Judaism that any Jewish man has to attend the service in Jerusalem, and Jesus was doing the same thing right now as being a good Jew, and then going to the Jerusalem to celebrate the unleavened bread, just Passover, the Exodus event. So the disciples asked Jesus, "Okay, where do we have dinner tonight, Lord? Passover. What do we prepare?" And then Jesus told the disciples, "Why don't you go, guys, in town and find a certain man and tell them that your teacher there's space to celebrate the Passover tonight, and then that'll do it." And then disciples went in town, and then they did exactly as directed, and then they got the place. It's strange to me. It's very odd and weird, and really, that's how you get a place. It's interesting. But anyway, that's how they found a place there. And then at the dinner table, they gather around right now, and then Jesus made this kind of unsettling statement. A statement that makes all the disciples really mad or sad. He made a statement like this: "One of you would betray me tonight." What a statement at the dinner table. I don't hear that at my dinner table. All the betrayal things but Jesus said, "One of you would betray me," and then all the disciples want to make sure that. Certainly not I, Lord, not me. I'm not going to betray. You know that, Lord. You know me. I'm James, I'm Peter, and all that. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm going to stick with you. And then finally, Judas Iscariot. By the way, Iscariot is his last name. Judas comes from this kind of Iscariot kind of region. And then Judas Iscariot came up to Jesus, and then, "Lord, I'm not that person, right?" And then Jesus said, "I'm sorry, you're exactly that person. You're the one who's going to betray me tonight." I don't know what happened to Judas after that moment. Either he left or something. He still hung around. I don't know. The Bible doesn't say, especially in Matthew. But then that's what happened. And then after that, Jesus made another kind of dropping the bomb like that statement again. He's dropping a lot of bombs at the dinner table right now. Listen to this. This is what Jesus said. You all lose faith and fall away tonight because of me. To me, that's a statement. It's not because of lack of faith you're going to fall away. You're going to fall away. You're going to lose faith because of me. It's an interesting statement again to think about. Peter wanted to assure Jesus again because he thought he was kind of he was one of the best disciples. He was the favorite one, and always he was one of the top three: John, James, and Peter. And then Jesus took all 12 disciples, but to a certain event or something, that he always took those three, not 9. James, John, and Peter. So Peter knew that he was the favorite one, and that he was kind of trying to calm down Jesus. It's okay. Things are under control right now. You know me. I followed you 3 years. I saw you performing all the miracles. I was right there with you. I witnessed it. I saw it. I saw you multiplying the bread and the fish, and then you feeding 5,000, 4,000 with that little food. And I knew you, Lord. If I have to die, I die for you. I would die for you. Don't worry. I'm not gonna fall away. I'm not gonna lose faith. I'm not gonna betray. I'm not gonna run away from my life. Jesus, calm down. I got this. Jesus told the disciples what would happen. And then Jesus especially told Peter that he would deny Jesus. How many times? Not once, not twice, thrice. Official word. 3 times. Wow. That unsettled and even upset Peter. Again, I'm sure that Peter was full of overconfidence. He's confident, but he's way out of turn. He's overly confident, based on his willpower and good intention and absolute assurance about his relationship with Jesus. Peter believed that he was in charge of this thing called Christian walk with God. God, don't worry, I got this. I got your back, Lord. Don't worry. When you look at verses 70 to 75, a few hours later after the conversation, you'll find another Peter right now. Again, Peter finding himself utterly broken and absolutely shattered after he denied Jesus 3 times. He realized at the moment that the cock crowed, wow, what have I done? What did I do? What happened to my overly confident attitude that I showed to my Lord? And I even called my Lord that man. And also verse 56, all other disciples, we found all the disciples doing what? They ran away. They all abandoning Jesus and went away, lost faith, and they kind of ran as fast as can for their lives. Out of fear, right? To save their lives. That's exactly what happened to those people we call big disciples. Big name disciples. Famous disciples in the Bible. Peter was not immune to human fear. These were the ones who spent 3 years with Jesus. Can you imagine that? These people, spending 3 years every day, day and night. They ate together, they drank together, they slept together, they prayed together, they witnessed miracles together. They even, themselves performed the miracles. And then they saw Jesus walking on the water, feeding 4,000, 5,000 people out of literally nothing. And then even one of them, Peter, they saw Peter walking on the water. And then Peter made a statement in the Caesarea Philippi. Jesus made the statement to Peter, you know what? You are the rock, the Petra. I'm going to build my church on this rock. Your statement and all of that. They played together. They took a nap together. Everything they did for 3 years, and all those 3 years, they spent 3 years. All this time did not mean anything to any of them. Not only Peter was in pain, but also Jesus in pain because of that. Here's the scorecard. 1 betrayed Jesus outright for money. How many pieces of silver? 30. That's exact the amount of money that you needed at the time to buy a slave. So Judas sold Jesus for the price of a slave. And then the other 10, of course, they all agreed with Peter. Oh, whatever the Peter said, we're behind Peter. We're not gonna betray you. We're not gonna fall away. And then verse 56, they ran away. And of course, the Peter denied Jesus 3 times. Not just denied 3 times. The first time that he denied. A girl came up to Peter and then, "Are you one of them?" And then Peter said, "I don't know what you're talking about." "I don't understand what you're talking about." No. And then second time he was asked, "You one of them, right? You were Jesus Christ, right?" And then you know what Peter, how he denied? He didn't say the exact same word as in the first place. He didn't say, "I don't know what you're talking about." He said, "Oh, I'm denying him with an oath that I do not know that man." Not just what you're talking about. I don't even know the man right there. Being flogged and whipped, I don't know the man. And the third time again, he was asked, "I'm sure you were with him because your accent, you're Galilean. I know you. You're from Galilee. You got an accent right now." And he said that he brought curse on him. "If I'm wrong, make God strike me." That kind of oath. He bring down curses on me with oath and denied, "I do not know that man." His denial kind of intensifying, like that question. Today's text, we encounter 3 types of people here. First, the type of people we call, Judas Iscariot. Judas Iscariot represents a person who says religion, who deals with the religion. Has a businessman with a religion. A person who only cares about his own dream. Remember the story in the Bible of a woman called Mary came to Jesus and broke his kind of perfume jar, really expensive, right? And then he was kind of washing Jesus' feet with his hair. And then Judas kind of made a statement at the time that, "Jesus, why do you let this happen to you? Do you know how expensive that thing jar is? If you sell it and then get the money, you can help a lot of people out, the poor people out there." Maybe Judas Iscariot at the time, he was thinking about a Messiah. It's like a figure in the military form, political kind of a figure who can come to Israel and save Israel from the Roman, like the persecution or the grasp of the political control. And then start all over again with the new country. My messiahship, my dream, and then my thinking about messiahship should come in power, military power, like a general or some kind of political leader. But when I look at Jesus, looking at Mary, maybe Jesus' presentation of his kingdom is not like mine. Maybe I don't really have to follow him anymore. His kingdom is not like overtaking like the other power in a way that I see. Yeah, Judas Iscariot is probably a smart guy. Probably figured that out at the moment that, "Oh, I found the wrong guy." He was okay with using people to get what he wanted. He was okay even selling religion to achieve his goals. And we call that a success. He was not hesitant to call that a success. Maybe he was giving seminars out there. This is how you do it. How to make money. How to use people. How to use religion. How to use your beliefs. Maybe he was the one who valued money more than humans. Maybe he was the one who thinks money is God or God is money. Either way. He was okay. He was okay getting anything they wanted, only at the expense of others. Judas Iscariot. How about a certain man? Probably you may not catch that one in verse 18. And then when the disciples asked Jesus where they would prepare the Passover, and then Jesus told them, "Why don't you guys go in town and go to a certain man?" and tell him so and so. Then he'll provide a place for us. They did it and they got a place. It's like, who's that certain man? No name, right? In the Bible, interestingly enough, the certain man in Greek is called Dana. Dana simply means a person who is known but not named. Maybe Jesus and the other 12 disciples, they already knew who that person was. Okay, why don't you go so and so, and then he'll get things kind of prepared for us. Who is that certain man? To me, it's like it's a person who is unknown but not named still again. I can make a reasonable guess that Jesus already knew that person. And a certain man represents to me a person who is so dependable and reliable. Even to enough to ask a favor on short notice. For like borrowing a big space for 30 people. And even like they're on the table and maybe a food, something like that. A certain man just like you all. A faithful servant of God, but unnamed. Not famous, not powerful, not influential in the community, but unnamed. It is unfortunate that we don't talk about those people in this day and age right now, even in church. We always talk about big names, right? Like Franklin Graham, like Billy Graham, and all those kind of big figures. Not those like Danas, a lot of Danas. So dependable and reliable. They're necessary for the kingdom of God, for the service of the church. They always work behind the scenes. Like even our churches right now, right? People work behind the scenes all the time. Because some people come out and their yards out there when nobody saw, nobody sees, and work in the kitchens and vacuuming here and there. You know what? Those are Danas that Jesus needs. Not like Peter, a lot of Peters and a lot of like Iscariot. We don't need those people, literally. We need a lot of Danas. So dependable, so reliable, that Jesus can call them right away on short notice, and they're okay with that. But they're not named. We don't know even who they are. We don't even know that person's name is, so it's a shame. But just like you and me, nobody knows you, nobody knows me, but we're here. How about those big name Christians? Big name like faith people, like in the Bible, presented in the Bible. Who are those people? Of course, big name like the people in the Bible, Christians, and some like the disciples today, 12 disciples. Peter was one of them today, maybe the most favored one among the 12 disciples. Peter was so confident about this kind of faith in Jesus thing. He thought he was sure about this. He had this kind of utmost assurance about this Christian walk with God. He thought that he just all had it like a complete and made and prepared and planned and then all of that. Even with assuring Jesus Christ, Jesus, I got you. I got you this time. Trust me. You can trust me on this. Peter, to me, represents a person like who falls away easily and loses faith easily because of Jesus. When his life is in danger, when his life becomes a little inconvenient, because of Jesus. He was the type of person who stands up and professes his faith openly, being and his sincere faith in Jesus at a church meeting. So easy, so safe, where his life or reputation is not on the line. A type of person who professes faith when things are safe. A type of person who talks a lot, but not walking the walk. When things get tough, when things are a little kind of hard, and he turns away and runs for his own life because he is afraid. The type of person who believes in Jesus when it's convenient, and when it's like relatively easy. Then, as long as that conditions are met, then I will follow Jesus. I will openly profess my faith in God, like in public. A type of person who easily quits because things are not convenient anymore and become burdensome. A type of person who thinks that he can do this Christian walk, Christian thing without even God, but with his own willpower and maybe intellect, knowledge, and wisdom and his good intentions only. Maybe a Christian intellectual, inevitably, who is locked up in this kind of own study room, and not knowing that Christian life involves people in the community. As imperfect as Peter was, Peter also was the one who came to his own mind in verse 75. After Jesus probably, I don't know, the Bible doesn't say it, doesn't render it, but then I'm sure that when the cock crowed at that moment, remember Jesus looked away to see Peter, and probably Peter was meeting Jesus' eyes like, what happened? What have I done? What did I call my Lord? It was my Lord, but moments ago I called him the man. I don't know the man. I denied him 3 times. He came to his own mind. Finally, he remembered the words that Jesus said to him a few hours ago. Peter was in such a pain. Peter was in distress. He was in agony. He was in misery. But he managed to remember and retrieve his memory back. He was mindless a few minutes ago, but then he became mindful of Jesus and his identity and his words. When he saw Jesus' eyes kind of directly, he reminded himself of Jesus' words. He realized that he forgot who he was. He realized he lost sight of himself. He came to see that he lost the connection with Jesus at that moment. Now he brought himself back to Jesus. Again, this is a Greek word, mimneskomai. When you study Greek, you don't have to. But in grammar, it's called the middle voice. Middle voice. It's not active, it's not passive. It's kind of middle somewhere. Meaning he brought himself to that remembering. It's an interesting word. Mimneskomai. He brought himself, he motivated himself to go to the remembering. It's just a middle voice. Peter suffered miserably because he forgot who he was supposed to be. Suffering does not only come from your bodily injury, but also from this kind of a mental incapacity. That you forget something. You forget who you are. You're painful. You want to know. You want to find out who you are. And Peter went through that time like he completely forgot who he was, or who Jesus was, or the relationship that he had with Jesus Christ. He completely forgot. He let the guards down. He was overly confident. Then he looked back. It's like, wow. It's interesting that Jesus understood himself as a stumbling block in this story. Even to his own disciples. Well, wait a minute. We thought that we could, increase our faith because of Jesus. We at least thought that Jesus can help me out, right, with my faith. But then he's telling me that I'm going to fall away, I'm going to lose my faith because of him. Is that kind of interesting? What's going on here? But in fact, the truth of the matter is, and still, a lot of people will fall away because of the same Jesus. Because the same Jesus, some come to Christ. Because of the same Christ, people fall away. They lose faith. In conclusion, the disciple is the one who is mindful of Jesus and his words, not in a church kind of meeting, not in a Christian rally, not a kind of Christian concert, not like while watching a Christian movie, I feel like so Christian. I feel like I love God so much. In worship service, a Bible study, a church meeting, and I can openly confess my faith in God, and I'm okay. Rather, a disciple remembers Jesus when they're in a mess, a big mess, either trivial or big. The disciple is the one who's trained to retrieve the memory back on God and His character and His words and His teachings. A disciple's memory is tested again and again, as was the case for Peter, that the true confession of faith in Jesus cannot be lived in a classroom, but in a community setting. A disciple's capacity to remember God's abundant love and mercy and grace makes a huge difference when we are in a crunch time, when even things get tough, when things are not looking up, and then when you have problems with your, per se right now, your parents, your in-laws, your friends, your brothers and sisters, things like that. The best people to ask whether you actually retain that memory of God and actually you practice that memory, the best people to ask is the people around you. Your mom and dad, and for me, my children. They'll tell you that whether I am like a fake Christian or it's kind of a trying-hard Christian. I'm not perfect, but at least I can say that I'm honestly making efforts to be a man of God and be a good example for my kids too. So, a disciple knows that talk is really cheap. Oh, I love God. Oh, I confess in my faith, and then here and there, all that stuff. Talk is really cheap. We know that. You don't even have to be a disciple to know that. Anybody knows talk is cheap. But that's walking the walk. It's very expensive. So today, I encourage you today, when you read the text today about Peter, a certain man of Jewish Iscariot, what kind of man would you want to be? I see a lot of ready people like the certain man like Dana. You guys are dependable. They love you, love God, you love neighbors as much as you can, as much as you know how, as much resources that you have right now. I know that someone commends you for that. But once in a while, you kind of you trip up and you lost who you are, you lost who God is, and you may call God as I don't know the man. But still, God does not leave you alone. God does not abandon you. God's always there, like Jesus was there for Peter. And probably Peter saw the Jesus' eyes, probably got the feeling, Jesus saying to Peter, "It's okay, Peter, I got you." And then the disciple is the one who can retrieve the memory back of God and keep like practicing that every day. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Go in peace, my dear brothers and sisters. Amen.